Mr. President, members, I'm clearly very moved by today, and I thank you all for the warmth of your support. And I was very obviously honoured to achieve this award, but I see it not just as a personal award, and I would like to express my deep appreciation, by the way, to the members of my own group here and to the members of other groups who nominated me for this award. But as I've said, I just don't see it as a personal award. I see it as a very powerful expression of the international goodwill and support for peace on our streets. And I have no doubt that it is strengthening the will of our people to continue in the enormous task of ending a quarrel of centuries and bringing lasting peace to our people. And I'm very grateful throughout that peace process for the enormous support that that process has received from this House and from the institutions of the European Union, and in particular the Programme for Peace and Reconciliation, which was unanimously endorsed by this House, which is doing so much work at grassroots level and so positive that I think it deserves a study now by other regions of Europe. But most important of all, I have to say that the peace process in Northern Ireland, as far as I am concerned, has been most heavily inspired by the inspiration of this place. When I first came here in 1979, I tell this story often, I went for a walk across the bridge from Strasbourg to Kiel. I stopped and I thought, 30 years ago, if I had stood in this bridge and said, don't worry, although there's 25 million people dead for the second time in a century, and for centuries these peoples of Europe have slaughtered one another, now it's all over, and in 30 years they will all be together, I might have been sent to see a psychiatrist. But it happened. And let us not forget that European Union is the best example, as we have learned, in the history of the world of conflict resolution. And the philosophy that created European Union and the peace of Europe is the philosophy, if you study it, that is at the heart of our agreement. Respect for difference and for diversity. The creation of institutions which respect that diversity, but which allow all sections to work together in their common interests. Economics. Spill their sweat, not their blood. And by doing that, begin the real healing process of breaking down the barriers of centuries and a new society evolves. That is the philosophy of European Union, and it's the philosophy of real peace. And might I add, that is the philosophy that we should be sending to areas of conflict in the world. We should not be sending armies. We should be sending a philosophy. And given the philosophy that we have in this building, it's a philosophy that will resolve conflict everywhere. Because at the end of the day, all conflict is about the same thing. It's about seeing difference as a threat. And what we all have to learn is what the peoples of Europe learned, and we are learning in Northern Ireland. Difference, whether it's your race or your religion or your nationality, is an accident of birth. And it's not something we should be engaged in conflict about. It's something we should respect. Thank you very much for your expression today.